want to announce a weekend long incentive that we're doing. Nothing crazy, but it's pretty cool incentive. Last chance to win this one. And then I wanted to open it up for questions that you all might have about various things. So let me pause this before it annoys me. Okay. All right. So first off, guys, the incentive that we're the last day for the last weekend, excuse me, for that incentive with Tyler Zimmerly. He's going to be a senior national sales director by September. He's going to be speaking at the event in Michigan in September, not the one in June or October, excuse me, not the one that's in June, but at the one in October. He's a great friend of mine. He lives in Indiana. He used to live in Tampa. We've built a great relationship. He's in the coaching group that I'm in. And he's just an incredible leader. Guys, he's going to take 30 minutes to an hour and just tell his story and open up for questions for our team only. Some of you guys have already won that. Some of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyone that closes a life insurance policy this weekend, so from today until Sunday night, anyone that closes a life policy is going to get into that coaching call. Okay, so if you're like, dude, I don't even know who this guy is or what it's about, find something, close it. Doesn't matter how big or small. Find something and close it. As long as there's issued premium, okay? CODs don't count. As long as there's issued premium, you'll be able to get on that coaching call. Tyler is an incredible leader. I built a great relationship with him. This dude is a beast. He's got like 6 RVPs. He's pushing for senior national sales director right now. He'll be making, by the time September rolls around, he'll be doing like $500,000 to $700,000 a year in income. Like that's where he'll be pacing in his monthly income. It's crazy. Like you guys don't want to miss a one-on-one coaching call with this guy. I mark my words, he will be one of the next $1 million earners in the company. I'm watching this dude focus. I'm helping him with his personal appointment setting because he's like, I need help with that. So I'm helping him with getting direct recruits, but he's helping me watch and see how to build this thing out for you guys so you guys can have a structured system to grow and explode your business. So guys, do not miss the call. He's going to be incredible. It's going to be an incredible call next week that we're going to do. So again, this weekend is the last weekend to win that event or that coaching call. It's going to be a Zoom call only for people that win the call. You must close one life insurance policy this weekend if you want to be on that. Okay. If you don't have your own policy already and you're licensed or not licensed, doesn't matter. You should look at it. If you haven't gotten on a whole lot of field training, we definitely should do that. Get something done this weekend. Guys, I want to have 20 to 30 people on this call as an incentive winning call to show Tyler how much we appreciate him being there. So I need you guys to rally behind me on this and please help me load this call up with winners. I'm not just going to put you on the call because I like you. You got to win it to get on there. So once you close something, shoot me a text and we'll get you in the Telegram group for it. But that's going to be awesome. So guys, I'm fired up for that. What do y'all need help with today? How can I help you guys? What questions, thoughts, concerns, whatever? Where are you just in general on anything? I know I said I would go over some of the sales stuff this week. We did that earlier this week. Next week, I'll go over some KT stuff. Specifically, I'll go over that KT presentation Monday. And then we'll do the objection overcomes on Tuesday for it, kind of like what we did this week. Just with traveling and stuff, it's a little crazy right now. So my kids, we're all in one hotel room. So I'm not trying to run a presentation in the middle of my kids trying to sleep. That's not great. So anyway, guys, what questions, thoughts, anything like that do you guys have?
I have a question. I feel like it's silly. Oh, sorry.
Ellie, and go ahead, and then whoever, I think that was Amber that was talking. So El, go ahead, and then we'll do Amber after that.
So you can go ahead. I was just going to ask you about some places around here to go prospect.
Oh yeah, got you. Citrus Park Mall, International Plaza, either of those places. All right, Amber, was that you that had a question?
Yeah, that was me. So I feel like this is a silly question. So I know we really promote like term insurance, invest the difference. And so at what point in someone's age, I guess there's multiple factors, but like at what point in someone's age would that be good for? Because I know like once you get like basically too old, like that's not really it's kind of like too late for them in the game, you know what I'm saying? Like, cause especially if they're roped into a bad policy. So like at what age do you is that like a good
Yeah, I think I
plan for,
understand.
you know?
Yeah, I think I understand. Let me make sure let me re-ask your question and make sure I'm hearing it right. So you're basically asking like, at what point is buying term and investing the difference maybe too expensive on the life insurance side?
Yeah,
Basically, is
yeah,
that more? Okay,
yeah.
so the way I explain this to clients, especially older clients, when I'm talking to them, I ask them, I'm like, how much? So before I even look at like any sort of quote or anything like that at all, I'm already talking to them a little bit like, hey, how much do you have invested or saved right now? Like, where are you at with all of that? And then how much per month can you put towards that? So like if you watch the Why Primerica at the KT, right? So this question should sound familiar to all of you because I trust that you've been doing what I've told you to do the last couple of weeks. So Mr. and Mrs. Client or Mr. Client or whatever, how much per month do you feel like you could put towards your financial stability, your financial future? I have clients that do as little as $50 a month. I have clients that do as much as a couple thousand a month and everywhere in between. Where do you feel like you would be comfortable with that? And the average is, give them a rough average and a couple $100 or whatever. And whatever they tell me. And if they're like $500 a month, I'm like, okay, cool. So how much life insurance do you have right now? And I'll figure all that out. And so if they don't have any life insurance, Amber, like to your point, if I'm meeting with somebody that's like 65 years old, right? They have no investments, no insurance. It's just a financial, like Josh always says the word destitute. I love it. They're like it's a financial desert, right? And so they got nothing good going on. Then I'm going to talk to them about, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to like, well, I just got weird. Hold on. Let me
Like
mute.
echoing.
Yeah, I'm muting people real quick. All right, cool. I got it. So, if you ask them that, what I would do with an older client typically is I'm going to give them probably a little bit less life insurance. I'm probably going to, and it depends on the situation. So like if they just want at the end of the day, if the client wants a term policy that's $200-$300 a month, I mean, okay, great, like go for it. But it's also our job to talk to them about the investment side once you're investment licensed, which is why you all need to do that. But when I'm talking to them, I'm going to tell them, hey, look, like we could get you 50,000 in coverage for $100 a month, and we'll take the rest and invest it. 50 grand might not take care of a whole lot, but it's going to help with funeral and burial at least. And it's going to give you something. So kind of treat it more or less like a final expense policy instead of like an income replacement policy as they get a little bit older. That also, again, with the Why Primerica at the KT video, Ian talks about the custom policies, like stacking terms to create a bigger policy and face value for less money. As people get a little bit older, it's easier to do that also. So that's actually a great question, Amber. I can share my screen a little bit next week. That would be a bit more relevant next week. After I go through the KT presentation one more time to kind of walk through that. But that's a very good question. And I would say two things. One, don't cause the problem before it happens, right? Like a lot of you guys like to cause objections before you even have an appointment. It's like, well, what if they say this and that? And then you're like, they aren't even on the call yet. So why are we even worried about that? Number one. And number two, like there's a way we can help them. We just got to figure out what they got going on. Because if you got to think too, Amber, if that person is already spending $400 a month on a whole life insurance policy for 50,000, well, if we get them a term life insurance policy for $200 a month and double their coverage and invest the difference, they're still in a better spot. So it's all kind of relative. Does that make sense, guys? Like it's the expense is relative to the person. If they've never bought life insurance before and they're 68 years old, yeah, it's going to be a lot for them to get any amount of coverage. But if they've had a whole life policy for the last 10 years and it's about to lapse and they're paying $500 a month, and you can cut that cost by 20 or by 80%, that's all of a sudden not very expensive anymore. You see what I'm saying? So it just depends on the person too. But that's a great question. Yeah. What else you guys got this morning? Josh, were you going to say something?
Oh no, I was in agreement. I was in agreement.
All right, what else you guys got? What other questions? That was a really good question, Amber. Thank you for asking that. What other questions you got? What book? The Discipleship Essentials by Greg Ogden, Amber. Discipleship Essentials. Oh, yeah, you already answered that. Cool. Thanks, guys. Sorry. What other questions do you guys have this morning? not all at once. I was gonna say, I'm like legitimately concerned for you guys this week. Like, no one's talking to me. It's like, is everybody okay? What's up, Jenna? Jenna, you got a question? Or
Oh, can you hear me?
yeah, we got you. What's up?
Oh, no, I don't have any question right now. I'm late to work.
Stop.
I played hooky yesterday, so all of my equipment is in St. Pete. So I had to drive from Carrollwood, where the office is, to St. Pete to grab my equipment. And now I'm headed to Clearwater to do images of boobs at LifeWorks.
There you go.
So,
Nice.
no,
Great.
but I was successful when I prospected yesterday
Yeah, you did. Good job. Yeah, Jenna
at
prospect closed
the car wash.
That's awesome. Great job. The
And
guy I
he-
prospected at the car wash and didn't ever answered my call. So
oh no, I didn't put you guys in the chat, did I?
no,
No, you tried calling him.
no, not that guy.
Oh.
Different guy. Over a year ago. No big deal. Yeah.
Oh.
But great job yesterday. That's awesome. What did you say to
Yeah.
him?
So, he actually works at the car wash, and I signed up for the car wash through him. And then I went back, it was like 2 weeks later, I went back yesterday, and he came up to me and started talking to me again, asked if I needed anything. And I said, oh, how long have you been doing this? And, I asked, are your options open? And he's like, yeah, my options are always open. I'm always out in the sun, and I would like to, get something better and stuff. So I'm like, all right, well, I have a financial firm, and, we're looking to expand, and we're looking for some good people. And if your options are open, can I get your phone number? Maybe we can, set up an appointment. We can talk more about it. And he said, yeah, of course. So he gave me his cell phone number. I texted him right there just to make sure his phone number worked. And then, we got him on a call that afternoon, and he's actually very he asked very good questions. Like, he was genuinely, interested and excited about it. And I think he's going to be great. But something
Awesome.
drew me to him. Like, I just felt like I had to talk to him in a way. And yeah,
Good.
it worked. And I think
Awesome.
he's
Well,
going to be great.
job. Great job, Jenna. All right, Tammy,
Yeah,
what's up?
it was nice. It was
Oh, wait.
nice because last week I didn't do anything. And then this week I've recruited 2 people in 2 days. So sometimes our weeks are just bad, or we just have like bad days. And your hope gets lost, but then in just a short amount of time you can get a lot done. So
Oh, that's good. Great job, Jenna.
yeah, thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Tammy, you're up. What's up, Tammy?
Okay, so to piggyback off of Amber, so when you have, okay, so what is the cutoff age that we will insure people?
So up to 70 years old.
Okay, and that's what I thought. So when you have somebody who's over 70 and they have bad policies, I mean, I know we can't like do anything, so how do we help them?
Well, so we still can. So an annuity has a life insurance component in there. So that's one option. And this is going to depend on the person and what they got going on and what state they live in and all that kind of stuff. Because we have a partnership with a company. It's called Prosperity Life. Okay. We don't talk about this because we don't need it very often. But if somebody is declined, so they have to be declined a term life insurance policy first. So if the client gets declined a term life, which if they're over 70, it's automatically considered to be a decline. So they don't have to go through the process. But if they're over 70 and they really want some type of life insurance, it's a Prosperity Life product. It technically is a whole life policy. But we can sell that to them, but we can't do more than 25,000 in coverage. And it's not something that Primerica would like make you go through. You have to submit it to home office. They have to review it and make sure it's the best interest of the client. So that is the only scenario when like somebody has cancer, some type of sickness, something like that. It's basically like a last ditch effort to get somebody some type of life insurance. In the scenario that you're talking about, Tammy, most likely what would be most suitable is some type of income producing annuity, most likely. But there are scenarios, there are very rare scenarios, typically when someone has some type of terminal illness or something like that, that you could potentially get them covered with a whole life policy where that might make sense for the client. But Primerica makes you go through a suitability question, like a long suitability questionnaire, and you don't make hardly any money off of it at all, which it's not about the commission, but they don't incentivize you to do that because it's not good for the client long term. But if that's the only option, that's better than nothing in a lot of scenarios where a family that has no financial security or anything like that could pay $100 a month or whatever it might be and get 25,000 to bury them or whatever if they have some type of medical issue. So that's the only scenario that Primerica will allow that. But again, they're going to question you on why you're doing that, and they're going to make sure that it's the absolute best interest of the client and that they got the client or they're not able to get a term policy. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So there's options, Tammy, but that is a big time person to person basis, because you're like, just like you do with 40-year-olds, you're going to come across 70-year-olds in vastly different scenarios, people that are financially set and they're well off and they're doing great. And then you're going to also have people that are like, their bank account looks like a desert, right? And there's nothing inside, nothing going on. So it's just depending on the person, but especially that at that age with the whole life, like with whole life or with an annuity, Primerica is very, 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 very tight on their standards as to what you can do and why, because that age group, let's face it, is easier to take advantage of also, because they don't necessarily think things through all the way. Sometimes they're mentally not all the way there. I'm not trying to be rude. That's just the truth. And so they really do a great job of protecting those clients from making bad decisions. And that's why everything has to go through Primerica's suitability department to make sure everything's good to go. What's up, Josh?
I've never seen the user interface for a annuity. And
Neither.
that's good that you said that it had a life insurance component in there. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some that solves some big time suitability options in different scenarios.
Yeah. So
So-
the way an annuity works, at a really basic level, these are hard to explain. It took me a really long time to get it, and I might even explain it not 100% correct right now. But basically, you're paying an amount of money into an annuity, and the lump sum builds up, and you continue to pay until you do what's called annuitize, which you should never annuitize an annuity. But if you annuitize an annuity, what happens is the second you annuitize it, if you pass away, you're going to get guaranteed income for the rest of your life, right? So with an annuity, let's say you're 55 and you start putting $200 a month into an annuity. When you annuitize the annuity, what happens is you get guaranteed income of X amount of dollars. And the longer you put money in, the more money your monthly payment is. And let's say you put $200 a month into an annuity from now until you're, call it 75, right? So for 20 years, you're 55 until you're 75. And let's say your monthly income from that's going to be $1,000. I'm making up numbers. Do not quote me on any of this. These are just random hypothetical numbers. So you're putting $1,000 into, or you're getting $1,000 a month from the annuity. But let's say you pass away in month 4 of it being annuitized, your annuity ends and you lose the benefits, right? So your family doesn't get the lump sum. It's not an investment vehicle in a sense of like, we're trying to pass on wealth. It's a way for you to put your money away that lets it continue to grow and has a life insurance piece, because if you pass away while you're putting your money into the annuity, so not while it's annuitized, before it's annuitized, when it's an active investment, right? Bye, Tammy. Have a good day. While you're putting money into the annuity, then there's a life insurance component on almost all of those annuities, where if you pass away, they're going to give you some money. You might even get your money back at that point and be able to like pass down some lump sum. So if you ever come across anybody that has an annuity and they're talking about annuitizing it, just tell them, hey, before you do that, you need to talk to one of my investment advisor friends or whatever, and have them listen, because there's so many books about never annuitize, don't annuitize. It's terrible, because really they're as soon as if they pass away, that family loses all of the money, typically, and almost all of the annuities. And don't hear me saying annuities are bad options. Annuities are actually incredible growth strategies if you use them the right way. If you use them and you're trying to use them for guaranteed income and that's your only thing, it might not be the best suitability thing. But annuities also, Josh, like whole life insurance, have to, with Primerica at least, have to go through a very stringent suitability examination from home office because they don't want to put somebody in annuity that doesn't make sense. Like an annuity should not be your only investment vehicle because it's not liquid and you can't pull money out of it. Like there's a lot of stipulations to it. So don't ask me any more annuity questions. That's about all I got on those. So,
You can refer back to Exam FX if you want further in
yes,
depth.
exactly. If you have
Refer
any
back to
questions,
Exam
please
FX.
consult you. What other questions you guys got this morning? We'll be done here in a couple minutes. Y'all can hop off if you need to. It's a little bit over, but what other questions do you guys have?
So if someone had cancer, but they're, so my uncle, he had stomach cancer, but he's cancer free for, I think, like 11 years now. Would he wasn't able to get life insurance. Would he be able to get life insurance now since he's been cancer free for so long?
Well, first of all, did you quote him on a term policy after 11 years? Because he might be able to get approved.
I haven't yet, no.
So after 10 years, a lot of times they can get approved. It just might be a little bit more expensive. Like they might get table rated, and it's definitely going to be COD.
Okay.
But I would definitely encourage you to do that first. But yeah, with the Prosperity Life thing, like, yeah, you could help them out, but it's not going to be a $500,000 policy or something. It's going to be a smaller policy. But yeah, you typically can get coverage with that. Yeah.
Okay. So it's 10 years. After 10 years cancer free, then we can go ahead and try to apply.
Yes. And again, don't quote me on the outcome, but typically after 10 years, depending on what type of cancer it was, they can get approved.
Okay.
But it might be
Thank you.
like, yeah, I've seen it come back at table 10, which means it's 3.5 times more expensive.
Okay.
So that might not be the best financial decision for somebody, but we at least know we can get them covered at that point. So it's just a matter of quoting him, running the policy, and seeing where it comes back at.
Okay.
Anybody else? Yep, no problem. Let's see. Anyone else? Anybody else? Last minute questions this morning. Anyone? All right. Hey, we got a bunch of people getting ready to take their test. Angie's going to pass her test today. Everybody type Angie in the Zoom chat real quick. Angie's going to pass her test. Yeah, I'm going to do an appointment setting boot camp at 10 a.m. Eastern time, I think, right, Cassie? 10 a.m. Is that what I said? Perfect. 10 a.m. Eastern time. Appointment setting boot camp tomorrow morning, guys. Again, I'll say it one more time. 10 a.m. tomorrow. Guys, do me a favor. Load that thing up. I'm going to teach everybody how and why to set appointments, guys. And then outside of that, we have last two things I'll say. I guess last three things I'll say. So appointment setting boot camp tomorrow. Tuesday night is a giant op night at the office. That is literally it's an opportunity meeting. So invite people to the office, invite people to that training that you want them to see what it is. Like that's what we're doing. That's the plan. I have a meeting at 9:30 to go over all of that, to plan it with everybody at the office. But guys, load that up on Tuesday night. It's going to be awesome. We have the last weekend to qualify with that coaching call with Tyler Zimmerly. So make sure you guys hop on that. Make sure you guys take advantage of that. I just poked a hole in my rain. I was like shotgunning my energy drink. Hang on. I'm sorry. I dropped it on the concrete and cut a hole in it. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Guys, it's just one thing after another in my life currently. It's okay. Well, we're going to make it. This is the worst one, to be honest. My energy drink is leaking. But guys, so make sure you guys are fighting to qualify for that. It's one policy. You got to close one policy to get on there, guys. If you've already qualified for it and you qualify again for it, Shelly, it's great for me. Don't lie to me, okay? Don't tell me bad news right now in the Zoom chat. I don't need negativity up in there, Shelly. But if it's just like Josh's C4. Like it's just buy 2, get 1 free. I'm gonna drink all 3 of them and pay just because I can.
We're gonna
Anyway,
we're gonna shotgun a rain when I get to
That's
Florida.
right.
Just
That's right. It's your welcome. It's your welcome call. But anyway, guys, so last weekend to qualify, any life insurance policy, any size, any amount of premium just has to be a non-COD. And then the last thing I'll tell you guys, we have a lot, guys, we've got a lot of new people. We have 40 recruits this month right now and 12,000 in premium. We need to flip that switch, like just from a leadership perspective. Like you guys we got to be talking to our new people about getting in the field, looking at it themselves. Guys, we should, every recruit should at least do their own financial needs analysis, right? I don't necessarily care if they move forward with something, but we need them to see what it looks like. And if you're new, guys, and you haven't met with your trainer yet to look at your own policy or what it might even look like for you or anything like that, I would challenge you to do that, guys. Get yourself a promotion, get yourself your bonus and all that stuff with your own policy just by doing that. I really want to challenge you guys to do that this weekend. If you have new people, guys, get with them and help them set up kitchen tables, especially after tomorrow morning's call. I'm going to go over how to set appointments, all that stuff at 10 o'clock. Guys, don't miss that. Guys, have an amazing day. Everybody go put in the redemption telegram. What are you closing today? What appointments do you have? And if you don't have any appointments, how many are you going to set up today, guys? Have an amazing day. I love you guys. Have a great